Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Shamwari Lockdown Series. My name is Andrew. It's an absolutely beautiful morning just after sunrise. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, because we're going to be launching Shamwari TV very soon. It looks like it's going to be a good day. I'm going to go out and see what we can find. Beautiful little group of kudu, female kudus up on the ridge over there. So that little guy is probably only about 2 months old. Would have been born just towards the end of autumn. You can see all the flies buzzing around the female, around her ears there. When they were staring at us when we drove up here, they stood dead still, and their whole anti-predator behavior most of the time is to freeze dead still to avoid predation, and then at that last second just to bolt away. So even the flies, they won't even try and shake them off. Now that they've gotten a little bit more relaxed with us and realize we're not a threat, now they'll start shaking the ears and trying to get rid of those flies. So there's the female over there, doesn't have any horns, and there you can see just behind the bushes over there some beautiful spiral corkscrew horns busy sticking up, obviously belonging to a male. Obviously it's a beautiful morning, it's nice and comfortable for them, but she's also just busy making sure that she can't see or locate any predators before she heads out for the day into their feeding grounds. Nice. So just coming out the bush over here is a beautiful little breeding herd of elephants. Not sure how many there are yet. Matriarch at the front coming out. A couple of babies, tiny little baby at the back there, maybe about a year old, 8 months old. So this is quite interesting. Got our scent and just stopped. It's having a good smell. I definitely think elephants have the ability to recognize individuals. I always like to think sometimes maybe when they stop and have a smell that they're actually recognizing me as an individual. Having the ability to spend so much time with these animals, I'm sure they build up a personal database of who's who. It's important to remember that an elephant never forgets, and make sure you treat them right on foot or in a vehicle. That's why I think we are lucky at Shamwari, because our animals are so relaxed, because we put ethics at the forefront with our guides, our sightings, keeping the right distances, not putting pressure on the animals. I definitely think our elephants are some of the most relaxed elephants I've ever come across in my guiding career, so we're very fortunate. When they walk in a straight line like this, it's not, it's very much what you see in a cartoon or a storybook, but that's not how they walk. They're not walking in a straight line because they have to hold tails. They're just walking on a game trail. It's the easiest way to get from point A to point B, so it gives the illusion that that's how they walk, but it's the easiest and safest, and they're able to then choose a path or a game trail that avoids holes, danger, all of that type of stuff. The matriarch can then get them to the next feeding area where they're going to spend time, and then they'll spread out. And obviously they don't always walk in a line, single file, or holding tails. So it's quite easy on side profile to distinguish the males from the females by the angle of the head. The females have got a very angular head. They've got a very flat head on top, like a tabletop, and then the corner of the table comes down, so it's a very angular head, whereas the bulls have a much rounded, bulbous forehead. So these young bulls, always trailing the herds, are the sub-adults, the teenagers they've almost been completely pushed out the herd, but not quite yet. And I suppose it's very similar to human teenagers. You know, the youngsters think they are big and strong and can hold their own and survive in the wild, and at the first sign of danger they run back to parents. It's very similar to this, where they'll be on the periphery, and as they get older they spend more and more time away, but at the first sign of danger they run back into the herd. They'll eventually build up enough confidence as their size increases that they'll eventually join up to an older, bigger bull. These youngsters very often join up and adopt an older bull, and he's very much a mentor to them, and he will ensure discipline, maintain discipline, also suppress the urge and the hormones for these guys to come into must until at least the age of 25. And then they become very defensive over that older bull, and often will, in times of danger, will stay and protect him. And they've earned the nickname Askaris, these young bulls that protect the old bulls. So your elephant society is based off of a matriarchal herd system. In other words, the females lead the herd. It's the core group of elephant society is the females and their offspring, babies, youngsters, and then the outer fringes of that you have the bulls and the little groups of males sticking together. Core society is led and dominated by your female, in particular a matriarch. She's the oldest elephant in the herd, and she'll have direct relatives, sisters, cousins, and all of their offspring. And the matriarch basically will lead the herd on a daily basis, initiate all the movements to feeding, water, larger aggregations when groups of elephants get together that along the line have been related to one another, and when they get too big in a herd they'll then split, and then these micro, little smaller groups of breeding herds will then eventually form and become a nucleus on their own. But they will from time to time come together and they form these little aggregations, you know, like family reunions. I mean, it's a lot of elephant behavior, in my opinion anyway, can be very much transferred onto human behavior in terms of disciplining, family values, and a lot of the ages are very similar. You know, elephant lifespan and human lifespan is very similar. Well, I hope you enjoyed that this morning with me. I know it was great to spend a whole morning with these elephants, just busy watching them, looking at the behavior, everything that they're doing. Such amazing creatures to watch. So peaceful out here. I hope you enjoyed it, and look out for the next one.